It's John and Rachel, and we are doing a sort of fake, but it's not fake because we have real people here, a YaJagoff Home Show. Because let's face it, the home show finished up last week. So many people were talking about how great it was, but there are those Jags who either procrastinate and say, oh, I'm going to get there, and now it's too late, or they complained about parking because they were too cheap to go pay for the parking at the convention center. So they just stayed home and they missed it. So we're making it a little easier for you. And we are getting to talk to 4 of our favorite home improvement folks who have small businesses here in Western Pennsylvania. You've seen many of them before. We have a newbie we're really excited to talk to. But basically, we want them to tell us a little bit about their business, some home improvement tips, things that we can know about for spring. And if you have some questions, we want you to ask them as well.
Yeah. The good news is you don't have to walk by anybody who's dicing and slicing anything. You don't have to turn the skillet person down.
ShamWow.
The bad news is there are no cinnamon peanuts here.
Oh, do they have them there?
Yeah. Oh my God. Do they have them there? Is she a rookie at this, Ben? I don't know. But
wow.
You've got to be kidding me. So, hey, Wesley. Wesley's in Florida, by the way. So, Wesley, we're all coming down to visit you. So this is the John and Rachel, the YaJagoff Virtual Home Show. And we have
there's no song to sing about this. We'll figure one out.
Right. So we have Mark Hubbard from Screen Mobile. Did you say Screen Mobile or Screen Mobile Hubs?
Screen Mobile.
Screen Mobile. Okay. All right. Okay. And Tim Gretsch is here from Performance Seamless Gutters. Wait till you hear what he has that makes me so mad that I didn't invent it and he did.
That's what this is about.
And he has it. Kim Williams is here from Dryer Vent Wizard. You know, Kim was a part of our podcast, and Dryer Vent Wizard was just, we had a lot of fun even making some funny videos for, well, we thought
they were still our favorite video of all time.
I don't know if anybody else thought they were funny. And Ben is here. Ben is at a picnic right now eating a turkey leg. But the fact is, Ben from KB Plumbing, he's the B in KB Plumbing. Carrie is the K in KB Plumbing, a family plumbing company based in Robinson Township. So first of all, welcome all you guys. We appreciate you taking time to do this.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, everybody, thanks for having us.
So we attempted this last year and, we didn't do a great job. We got some of the videos out, but nothing crazy. And we thought this is a great idea because so many people are always surfing internet or social media to find out what are things that they can do. Now, judging by today, it's not spring, but spring is literally going to be here. So I guess we want to start with what's something new with your company. So Tim, you're the newbie, you're the rookie, and we thought we would start with you. Tell everybody, obviously the word gutter is in your title. So we know that it has something to do with gutters, but what else do you do?
We do soffit fascia and siding. And then the big new player this year is going to be Celebrate. It's a seasonal light that stays up year round. It's a holiday light, architectural light, security light, totally customizable with your phone or any smart device.
And wait, it's called Celebrate?
Celebrate. Yeah,
so
Celebrate.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah, spirit fingers.
That
and listen, the funny part is John's angry, as if it's your fault, because he feels that he thought of this years ago. But sorry, you snooze, you lose, brother. And here it is, a thing now where you can have, because people leave lights up year round, right?
That's right. Any holiday, just for fun, your favorite sports team. The NHL is coming up, the playoffs, so you can select your favorite hockey team, put their colors on your house. The basketball, college March Madness.
Yeah.
Pick your favorite team, put it on your house. It's totally customizable. It's amazing.
Now, Tim, I will tell you that in the past, on the daily basis, we post YaJagoffs, people that are embarrassing the rest of us Pittsburghers. And sometimes we posted people who've left their Christmas lights up until July when they weren't waiting for a family member home. So now you've reset that button because people say, hey, I can turn whatever color I want. I'm just lazy. I don't need to take them down.
That's right. That's right. Lights made easy.
That's right. It is, yeah. So Tim, just in case somebody's bailing out here, early or whatever, what's your website where they find out more about you?
It's performanceseamless.com.
Nice. All right, cool.
Tim, what do you want to know more about? Tim,
well, I wanted to know, do they look like your typical Christmas light, or are they rope lights, or is it any combination of both?
Get it, Kim.
They are hidden. That's a great question, Kim. They are hidden underneath your soffit. So during the daytime, you don't even know that you have lights on your house. But as soon as it gets dark, they come on. And you can put a timer on it. So, 7 o'clock, 7:15, boom, your lights come on. Your neighbors are in awe over this. Like the first thing you do, you'll have your neighbors out on the street with a street party looking at your house. It's amazing. They'll be bringing their parade chairs to across the street to look at your house.
Tim, could you put that in an existing porch that maybe somebody else we know on this little thing here is going to screen in?
Absolutely.
There you go.
We can do
Cool
that.
connection. That's a great one. Okay, so who are you choosing? Who do you want to know more about?
Let's go with Kim, because there are some things that looked interesting that they did with on the roof.
Okay, yeah. I'm Kim Williams. I'm the owner of Dryer Vent Wizard of Greater Pittsburgh. We've been in business here locally since 2017. We clean dryer vents, and one of the things we were talking about was the roof vent cleanings that we do. A lot of people's dryer vent lines terminate on their roof. And so we go up on the roof, weather permitting, and we'll clean out the roof vent from the roof. And we also have roof vent covers that we'll replace up there as well. A lot of times when we go up there, we're finding a couple of different things, not good things. One of them being a lot of times there's a screen on the roof in the roof vent cover. You should never have a screen in any of your vent covers, because what that does when the moisture and the lint combine, it solidifies, and then it prevents anything from escaping your dryer vent line, which then backs up into your dryer vent line and causes a lot of problems. So that's one thing. You never want to have a screen on either of those vent covers, the roof vent or the side vent covers. And the other thing we're finding, unfortunately, is that if people aren't checking, a lot of times the vent line isn't terminating anywhere. It's just going into the wall. No, the hole has never been cut to allow the vent to terminate outside of the home and for everything to escape. So unfortunately, we're finding that a lot more as we do our inspections.
I like that, because a lot of times when we go up and do the gutters, we're on the roof and we see the different venting problems, and then the homeowner's talking about getting a new roof because their roof's not venting properly. Meanwhile, it's just a minor little thing with that vent that they can call you about and save thousands of dollars from getting their roof replaced.
Exactly.
Well, we did have a customer recently who had their roof redone, and they never cut the hole again for the dryer vent line to terminate. So when we went in there, they just shingled right over it. So we helped them out with that, but we are finding that more often than we'd like.
That's pretty cool.
The funny thing is, Kim, you're talking all this construction stuff. Most of it goes over my head. Other than I know what a nail and a screw, I know the difference between the two. So you even helped us even understand the fact that if your clothes aren't drying the way they used to do, that's a pretty good sign that your dryer vent needs to be cleaned, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're taking more than one cycle, you have to set the dryer cycle more than once to dry your laundry. Then more than likely you have a dryer vent. Your dryer vent's clogged, and we should have that inspected and cleaned. Especially, we do service a lot of commercial businesses, hair salons, and they just do so much laundry. I used to work in a hair salon, and I was one of those people. So, I was running that dryer constantly throughout the day. And if they're a good client for us. We usually try to schedule them on a maintenance schedule that works best for them. And then it just keeps their laundry moving. It keeps their utility bills down.
Kim, I was just going to say, I don't want to ensue fear, but I will. We work a little bit with people's gas, and one of the top fire hazards is a clogged dryer vent, right? If you're not undoing your lint regularly, that's scary.
Right. Yeah, it can be. I mean, if you think about it, when the lint backs up into the dryer vent line, if it's not escaping your home, it just keeps moving closer and closer to your actual dryer. And, there's an igniter switch back there that could cause the lint to catch fire. I mean, lint is extremely flammable. So just to have that cleaned out is another feature, just a safety feature.
Sure. Yeah.
We're going to take a minute and give a shout out to JC Nakotra, Tracy Castillo, as my phone says, and Dana Roberts is on here. We appreciate you guys watching. Kim, Dryer Vent Wizard, what's your website?
My website is pittsburghdryervent.com.
Nice. And who are you?
And look at our video because we think it's really funny.
Right.
That was really fun.
And who are you picking to go next?
I will pick Mr. Ben.
Hey, Ben, how's your
Thanks,
picnic?
Kim. Hi, guys.
You're welcome.
I'm Ben with KB Plumbing. We do plumbing. So last year we switched and focused solely on residential and we still do like some mom and pop commercial places, but we don't do anything crazy anymore. So, and that all came about because of COVID. We started running more service during COVID, and everybody's response was, I've called, pick a number of plumbers, and people don't even call me back. People don't show up when they're going to. And I was like, that's just crazy. So we just started servicing the community. And the response has been overwhelming. So, lots of happy people. And, yeah, I think it's worked out fine. Yeah.
And so what you're saying is like you're really doing the whole thing that everybody needs, service calls. You don't know when it's going to happen. You're sort of on call all the time. So some of the things that you do regularly include
snake and sewers. Everybody yeah, that's kind of one of the top ones is like sewer backups or Cameron. We follow a lot of companies that will come in and give you options on a new sewer line. And I mean, we set a bunch of people up on maintenance plans, and sometimes you get some tough ones. I mean, one of our guys even had a tough one that he couldn't get open and another plumber opened. So, I mean, it happens, but that's one out of, I don't know, well over 500 we've done in the, last 5-6 years. Yeah, a lot of that. Obviously, people using garbage disposals the way they shouldn't.
Yep.
Stuff like that.
Are you using me as are you pointing me out? I'm not sure if I'm being.
You're pointing yourself out. All right. I wasn't going to say anything, but Rachel's terrible on using the garbage disposal, She's one of those people I got to look at and be like, are you serious right now?
How are we not supposed to use our garbage disposal? Because I may be doing that wrong myself.
Right. Yeah. What are things you shouldn't put in?
So no stringy vegetables. Don't throw celery in there. When you're peeling potatoes, it's not for potato peels. Okay. Like just little things like that. No meat, no fat, no gristle, no bones, no silverware, no kids' toys. When your young child is mad at your other child, it's not a good idea for him to try to stuff his elf on a shelf.
So now this is you. No. This is your family, not mine. I got you. You're now.
Well, this is not my family. We don't do elf on a shelf because that would happen. My two boys were crazy. But yeah, just little things like that. Eggshells. Everybody throws the eggshells down there. It's not the eggshells that kill it, but the eggshells don't get flushed out of the trap. So then your drain backs up, and now we got to come take everything apart.
Yeah.
I mean, use the garbage can.
Yeah, exactly. It's like 5 feet from where you are. If you're in my kitchen.
It is in your house.
Right.
It is in your house. Yeah. Yeah. It's a turnaround and a sideways shuffle to get there.
Right. I have it all set up.
It's a good background, Ben. What is your website before we go to the next person to get introduced?
KB
I think it's kbplumbingpgh.com. Is that my website? Did I get it right?
Yes. Ding, 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 ding.
Ding, ding, ding.
Did you see me panic? Because I was like, he's going to be like, Rach, what's my website?
I know. I don't know. I don't do online.
He's a call guy.
I'm a Phil guy. Yeah. I mean, I'm not. Yeah, that's why Rachel and John do such a lovely job at YaJagoff Media, handling all my online stuff that I have no idea about.
No
idea about.
Then you go to the front of the class. Please, everybody else, delete yourself in the video.
Great talking to you.
Best Jagoffs in Pittsburgh.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Right there.
We appreciate that.
All right, Ben, you have nobody else to pick but our friend Mark Hubbard.
Drum roll for hubby.
Thanks, everybody.
Let's go, hubby.
Thanks, everybody. Great to see Kim and Ben, and welcome Tim to the group. A little bit about Screen Mobile, if you're unaware. We are your mobile window and door screen, porch, patio screen repair service. So the whole foundation of Screen Mobile was really all about mobile repairs. So we come to your home and we fix and or repair or sell new screens. So anything and everything to do with screens in your home, from the smallest little single hung window screen that might need some new screen on it, right to big porch and patio screens that we do. So from the smallest job to the biggest job.
And hubby, again, I've used your services as far as repair, but I've also seen the work that you've done on some of these other porches that are absolutely gorgeous. Now, is this something that people are doing year round because they want that seasonal room, or is this more conducive to spring and summer?
Well, we'd love it to be all year round. So, but people don't necessarily think of lantern flies and bugs in January. So this year was great because we really didn't have a winter. So we have a lot of customers taking advantage of the early spring this year, which has turned out really beneficial for us and for them because we're easily 6 weeks ahead where we were last year, just in booking customers now for larger jobs and smaller jobs as well. The weather really controls, what we do. We would really like to be going all year around. And one of our newest additions to what we offer now is we are now a Norman blind distributor. So we now are doing window shades and blinds, custom blinds. Yeah. So we're really looking to be able to offer some stuff maybe in the not so warm months. So you can check that. You can check Norman out at normanusa.com, and you'll be able to find us as a distributor for them and dealer for them. So we can help you with your, not only on the outside of your windows, we can also help you on the inside of your windows now too. Okay. So that's kind of a new offering that we have that we started this year.
Mark, you are, I guess I would consider a luxury kind of versus necessity. Then I think of Tim as a luxury kind of necessity. Then Kim and Ben pretty much necessities, I think. But the cool part is that when you're at a home show, you all are able to let everybody know you're all a necessity at this point. Like
you're all in this together.
There you go. Like, as we understand from the news that your screen mobile thing is going to be a necessity because we know that the lantern flies are supposed to double this year, right? So the crazy thing is now it becomes a necessity. When I think of Tim, your product, again, when I think of the lighting that gets built into the house that you can dial up the colors, now that's a necessity for me. I'm saying, my gosh,
we'll set it up. We'll get your house set up.
What's that?
We'll get your house set up. You'll be all lined up because ready for the season.
I look at both you and Mark as a good gift for somebody that's older who doesn't want to climb a ladder anymore, or somebody who just wants to sit on the porch. So, but hubby, we didn't give you a chance to ask somebody on the panel a question. So, everybody else got the tag until they get to you. So we'll let you start with. Do you have a question for one of our other guests or your peers here?
Sure. So this one's for Ben. So what are you seeing? Probably your, is there anything new or what are you seeing the most of requests right now? Probably not sewer draining, but is there any new products that you have out there?
No, I mean, a lot of pinholes, a lot of water heater replacements,
Right.
a lot of, we've always done water filtration, but we're getting more and more into that. The saddest thing is once you get into like water filtration, there's like legal limits of contaminants that you can be allowed by law to have in your water. And it's kind of funny, but they really don't do a lot about it, but they just kind of on the sly, like raise the limit every year, of allowed stuff. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not trying to throw anybody on the bus, but it could be, I don't make clean drinking water for an entire city. You know what I mean? I don't know what goes into that. But we do focus on what comes into your house on an individual level. And we do a lot of that. The pinhole leak stuff, you basically get everybody's now, going PEX. And there's different types of PEX that you can use. Some are good, some are not good. It depends on the setup in your house. And, the handyman that you think can just do whatever doesn't know that stuff. The difference between everybody here and some guy out who's a handyman is your knowledge and your professionalism you bring to the table. So
yeah,
that's the difference. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, that's pretty much the newest big thing is PEX has been rolling out for years. Home Depot carries it, Lowe's carries it, Ace Hardware carries it, everybody carries it. But there is a difference between those two, so that's pretty much it. Basic
Let me
stuff.
ask this, and Tim, I'd like you to answer it first, because again, I've utilized a lot of the services from the other three. Is budget something is that the number one deterrent for people? Because it's like, how much does it cost, right? We don't want to get into cost because we don't know. The stuff that you guys do, it's all tailored, right? So what is it that you say to people? Like, these are things that need to be done.
I typically ask the homeowner, if they have the budget, and they say, yeah. And I said, okay, so what do you need done, or what are your concerns?
Right.
And we'll go through those steps of like the concerns and the wants, and then I'll start giving them the options. Right. And from there, I say, you can go with somebody else. Like, there's different thickness of gutter coil. There's different things that I'm selling compared to the next guy, but I like to try to feel exactly like what they want. Exactly. And try to give what they want. And then I offer also like what I think would be best for their situation. If there's in a neighborhood with a lot of kids, I like to go with a thicker downspout, because what everybody's mostly using now is a thin gauge. It gets dented so easily.
Sure.
So this is going to prolong their house for their investment that they put into it.
Right.
And that to me is key, because that shows that I'm caring about what they put on their house, because that's what I would want on my house.
Exactly. Right.
And sometimes that's not everybody's need, and that's fine. But I always like to bring that to the table and show them and explain everything to them.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, the budget is there, but sometimes you can go a little bit above, just so that way you don't have to spend money again in a less short period of time.
Sure. Yeah. No, that makes
That's
sense.
actually a really good setup, I think, for all of you.
Thank you.
We'll start with you, Tim. You kind of kicked it off, so I guess we'll move over to Mark. But I look at this as you go to somebody's house, Kim, Ben, Mark, Tim, and they're wary, right? They don't know you. You're here to oversell me. You're here to do these kind of things. So, and they want the lowest price, or at least they know that they can trust you. It's like buying a car, I guess. When you sit down with them, maybe they're guarded. But what do you guys do to help make them feel like, okay, I'm a trustworthy person, and I'm not here to just kind of
like create the relationship. Yeah.
Mark, how do you do that?
Well, for us, we really don't make it complicated at all. People ask me all the time why, or like how do you price out certain products? And we really just have 4 or 5 price points for most homeowners. And so we really keep it simple that way. And so when we roll in, people are going to know what the costs are for their services before we get there. And if they want more done, or they need more done while we're there, that's up to them. We really don't mind whether or not we are there to fix a couple of screens, or whether we're there to install new doors. People just need to contact us at screenmobile.com, or they can call us at 412-376-8900. We have somebody answering the phone live every day. So you can get a hold of us. We like to find out what it is needs to be done. And then we can really give you an estimate that will likely be 100% right on before we even get there.
Great point.
People really, really appreciate that. So they're not rolling in with an open checkbook. You really kind of know what your spend's going to be.
And, Kim, we've talked about this a bunch of times with you, customizable, right? You don't know, you're showing up, you don't know, but that relationship with the person, because you, in your situation, you're not going to a home once. You're going to go multiple times. And it may not have to be every month, every 6 months, every whatever, but you want that repeat so that you can build that relationship and that trust with them, right?
Right, exactly. And I know when we go in to tag on to what Mark said is, our techs don't do any work until they present the options. They complete their inspection, they present you with what they found, give you the options, and you approve the pricing before we do any work. I mean, we just, you have to approve what we're presenting to you before the work is done. So in the case of some of our repeat customers, I mean, that's the reason they call us back, is because one, they like the service we provide. Our techs are very professional, they're uniformed, they're insured, they're trained, and this is what they do. I mean, they're professionals at what they do. So that's how we maintain those repeat customers.
Yeah.
Kim, I feel like your service is like a chiropractor. You don't realize how good you'll feel until after the chiropractor has done all that. You go, wow, I need to do that every month. And I feel like, the same thing with Dryer Vent Wizard. Once you realize the efficiency that's created for your gas utilities or your dryer, your electric, it seems like, okay, well, how did I ever live without this?
Well, I think when people do see the difference in how quickly their clothes are drying after they've had their dryer vent cleaned, it is kind of funny, because you wouldn't think people would get that excited about it, but they really do. They're like, wow, I can't believe the difference. And
I try to tell my kids, because they just shove everything and then they're like, I don't know why it's not dry. Well, but jumping back to Tim, because again, he's the newbie and we're sort of obsessed with the fact that
we left Ben out of that one.
No.
We left Ben out of that one. Just so you know, he didn't get to comment about that yet.
No
aisle 7.
Tim, I'll get back to you.
In booth 7, there is a demonstration of knives.
This. Oh my God.
There's a demonstration of knives over in aisle 7.
I'm in the middle of talking. All right, Ben, answer.
I'm sorry, I was listening to the Sham Wow guy. What was the question?
The relatability factor that you already answered, but that's okay.
No, when Tim, Mark, and Kim.
Go ahead, Tim. Go ahead, Ben.
I just smile and say hi.
Importance.
When you're meeting with them, Ben, the question is really, how you relate to them so that they trust you. They don't, they know you from your website. You have pictures of your family and blogs and recipes, which is really cool to kind of be inviting. But how do you, as a person, build that trust?
I don't know. I'm just a guy like everybody else. So I kind of go in. People call when they have a problem. Nobody thinks about, the plumber. And then some things for us, you can walk in the door expecting one thing and something else is going wrong, or there's a lot of on the fly figuring stuff out in our industry. This week we got a call from a lady who's like, I need a new water heater. I'm like, okay, we show up, it's leaking from the TMP valve. Her water heater is like 2 years old. So we're like, you don't need a new water heater. Her pressure regulator blew, so now she has 140 pounds coming into her house. Blew her expansion tank out. So we replaced a couple things. She's like, wow, thanks for not just changing my water heater. It's like, yeah, I mean, that's not what you need.
That's a good point. Yeah, troubleshoot. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. We had the same thing happen this week. We had a guy that wanted all 25 window screens replaced, but they were absolutely in great shape. And all he needed to do was to have the pins updated so they fit tighter in his windows so they would seal and not rattle. So literally, we did the work for him, saved him over $1,500 for what, he really thought he needed and he didn't need. So, what contractor or companies do that anymore? And I think that says a lot about, who we all are.
Right. And that's like, I got to see these people in my community. My wife will see you at the grocery store. You know what I mean? Like, our kids go to school together. I mean, I'm not, I don't.
It's your reputation and your name.
All of our businesses are
your name and your reputation that you don't want it soiled.
Right. And I got to sleep at night. Like,
That's
you know what I mean? I'm not that guy. I don't know.
And it's all based on referrals. So,
Right.
you know, when you do a good job, people tell 6 people. You do a bad job, people tell 20. So
Right.
you know what you got to continue to, every time you do that, is it's all about referrals. And as you continue to grow and be in business a long time, you'll end up, you know, with more and more business just because somebody heard something good about the work you did for somebody else. And that's everything in our small businesses.
That's a great point. Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, especially for small businesses. And, you know, someone actually said this on here, what a great idea to have these small businesses, because sometimes, you know, you don't have the funds, you know, of these giant companies who are able to advertise more, or you're not going to go to a home show because sometimes there is so many other things there. This way you can kind of talk about what makes you niche and why you're relatable and how this has kept you thriving, you know, as a small business owner. So Tim, it brings me to the question that I got interrupted on, but I'm glad that Ben got to talk. And that was, are there a lot of other companies who are doing what you're doing? Obviously people know that gutters are an important thing. They get clogged, you know, it's the pain in the butt that you see, like, oh my God, all these leaves or whatever. But the light thing, like, that's the flashy thing, right? That's the, wow, this is the, you know, the kids are doing it in their bedrooms and you can control it. Are you one of the only ones in the area doing this?
I am not. There's a couple others, but
we won't mention them. Don't mention them.
There's no other that's on this. There's no other that's on this home show, Tim. So you're unique.
It's only me in the greater Pittsburgh area. It does the best job with these lights, the Celebrites.
That's it. Yeah.
So, but what was the question again? I'm sorry. We were talking about lights, and that
the
just
lights,
gets me.
you know, it is such a unique thing. Like, that's the sort of shiny, like, ooh, this is a new thing, and people sort of gravitate toward that. My assumption would be, if they're gravitating toward that, they're then going to go, oh wait, you're the guy who does gutters. So it sort of becomes the other thing that they need, right?
It is. And then with the gutters are so important to have on your house because it gets the water away from your house. And that's one thing, like, where I'd have a connection with Ben, because I don't know if Ben, do you do like the ground pipes, underground pipes, and I can bring my downspouts down to your PVC pipe to get it away from the house.
Yep.
So we know that's really important. Get that water, if it doesn't go in the house through the foundation, deteriorates the walls, and then there's bigger hydro pressure issues.
Sure.
Yeah, we also started doing French drains and stuff for people, interior, exterior. We're trying to get with another local small business who I won't name yet because I don't have that deal secured, but just as like another person that will do foundation waterproofing.
Okay.
Because part of everything is, if we're digging up outside to put a French drain outside, you should have somebody do that. So we're kind of in between, either we're going to get the training to do it, or if we can find a local small business to kind of just say, hey, these guys are really good. That's kind of still in the works for us. So if that happens, we'll be referring them out pretty good too. So
Ben, do you do sump pumps? Do you install sump pumps? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we do clean water and sewage water ejectors. Clean and
Is that
dirty.
the technical term for a sump pump?
Sump pump is clean water. Sewage ejector is everything else.
But dirty.
Okay.
And then the whole thing, like, poop flows downhill anymore, that's a lie. You could put 20 feet in a hole into a toilet and they could pump it out to a 1-inch pipe a mile away. All kind of cool stuff out there.
Oh my God, so funny. All right, you guys, I love the fact that you are small, you're local, and I want to see that. I hope you follow up with each other, because I really do think that some of the different projects that you guys get to work on, you know, surely you could refer other people to each other. And like hubby said, you know, it's the word of mouth that really gets people, you know, they might read something once and go, okay, but if someone who they trust is telling them, it's a whole other, you know, ball game. So we really appreciate you guys being with us. Go ahead.
Ben, it's interesting that, you know, we were monitoring the comments and throwing them up on the screen here for people to see, but someone just quoted about you, that, you know, you're local, and they said, like Ben said, they see you at church, they see you at the grocery store. So, you know, you have to build that relationship. So I think that's interesting that all four of you have that, you know, that, and again, I think we did we had some research done. I think in the Pittsburgh market, there's some plumbing companies spend over $300,000 on digital media.
Yeah, and Ben is not one of them.
And this is, it's hard when, for people to compete like that. So something like this here, when you buy local meat, you buy local vegetables, right? Buy local plumber, buy all these local services. And I think that's what's cool about our YaJagoff Home Show. While we've had some fun saying there's no chamois and no skillets here, things like that, what is here are people who, if they took the time to go to the home show, they wouldn't get their work done because they would be standing in the booth all day.
Well, you have to think about that. I mean, that home show is a bear, and I've done it in the past. I really can't be away from my business for 10 days.
Right.
Sure.
And, you don't have a plethora of employees that can go, staff a booth for 10 days. Now, while I really like the concept and I think that they do a really good job with that home show, don't get me wrong.
Sure.
When you're not selling something from the home show, where all your work is done in somebody's house, if you're there, the work's not getting done, especially if you're a small business person.
Well, kudos to the home show because they do bring everybody out and get a look around. You get to kick the tires, kick the bricks, whatever. As we bring this to a close, I'm kind of curious. If you are working at the home show, working your booth, you know what snacks are there. There's hot dogs, there's nachos, salsa, cheese. What are you choosing for your midday meal when you're at the home show? Tim, what are you choosing out of that?
Poor Tim. He had to go first. Now you're throwing him out for what's
the choices. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd go. I'd be craving like a chili cheese dog. So that's what I'd go to.
Okay. All right. And no white shirt while you're at the home show.
And never.
Right?
Ever.
White shirts and me do not match. No, we don't.
Right. Who even wears
Ever.
white shirts? Yeah.
Hubby, what would you have for a snack when you're at the home show if we were really at one?
That's a good question. I mean, I'm glad I didn't go first, but really, there's not a lot of time. Having been there and working there, and you're trying to grab something, I get maybe just a hot dog or something like that. That would be my kind of go-to.
Hubby, I would bring you snacks because I would want you to fare well, and I would fuel you. How's that?
Well, we did a small home show at Acrisure in February, and that was more up our line. That turned out pretty well. But all you really have time for is to grab a sandwich and a cold drink for a few minutes, and then back at it. So
sure. I got you. Kim, what are you having?
I like the vendors that bring the homemade pickles.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, yeah.
I could just eat a bag of pickles and be fine.
Can anyone shout out Jenny Lee Bakery because we actually do their marketing? Jenny Lee.
Cinnamon swirl bread.
I think you just did.
Ben, what are you having?
They do have my kids love we'll make cinnamon swirl French toast that they make. We'll make that and my kids devour that.
Thank you.
Yeah, so shout out to Jenny Lee. She's a nice lady.
Keys Rocks tradition. There you go.
Such a nice lady.
There you go.
We don't do home shows. I don't know what they service, but this background here is actually one of our booths we set up for the Robinson Fall Festival. Last year before, we have like little plumber people that the kids all came by and colored. The older kids, thank God it was later in the evening, kind of made it a little provocative, and I didn't catch it till the last minute. So no more plumber kids, but they have like funnel cakes, and they have they have good stuff. Vicelli, local Vicelli's pizza does it. Giuliano's, I think they did pizza one year, but they have a couple other vendors that'll come in. Always ice cream for the kids, and beer for the adults, which I will personally tell you, after 14 hours of standing there, it's so good. So, that's
now that everyone's hungry. Thanks, John.
Yeah.
All right, you guys.
One of our commenters said a hunk of Mancini's bread or a pepperoni roll too. So there's that.
Remind everybody where they can find you, because listen, this is all well and good. It's going to live on Facebook, which makes us happy because people can watch it back and go back to each of you and see something that you said. But more importantly, your websites, your social media are super important for your business to thrive. So Tim, we started with you. We'll put you on the spot again. give us your website and your social media handles.
All right. It's Tim Gretsch at performanceseamlessgutters.com. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. You can find me on the internet. So search Seamless Gutters, Seasonal Lights. You'll see me. And I'd love to come out and see what I can do for you.
And if you'll suggest whatever colors people think, right? You're also the interior designer.
I am. And I have color swatches, and the wife always helps out too, because she always has her mind set.
Okay.
So I have to find the right colors for her. So
understood.
Yeah.
We love it. Tim, thank you so much for joining us. We really want to continue to chat with you. I'm sure you'll be with us for some other things. But hubby, can you tell everybody where they can find you to learn more? Absolutely.
ScreenMobile.com on the internet, also on Facebook at PA Screen Mobile, Twitter at PA Screen Mobile. Can we say Twitter or is it X?
That's X. I'll figure it out.
It's Starlake Amphitheater.
That's right. Yes, it'll always be Twitter. And so we're also on Instagram. You can see a lot of our work on any of the social media platforms. And then the good old phone works really well too. Just call us.
That's a great point. And if you're nice to us, apparently you're doing quite the screen display at my dad's, and apparently he is going to be one of the porch tour visits that we have this summer. So maybe if people are nice, you can come check it out.
Yes, well, I think Tim and Ben and Kim should all show up, because that would be a really good opportunity to hang out. And we could get we could get some Jenny Lee to be there, and maybe some other people that John and Rachel have connections with. The whole process is that we're going to basically, we're going to screen in Johnny Angel's porch in a day. So the team's going to show up, and hopefully we can tie in a porch tour or a taping with John and Rachel as they're having guests. And in the background, we're going to be finishing off this porch all at the same time. So we'll pick a time maybe where you guys could come by, and maybe we can continue this as we're kind of doing that. And hopefully you can see it from start to finish.
And Tim can decorate the new porch and screen with Ginchy colors. Right? And so, Kim, how about you? Where does everybody find you online and on the social media channels?
PittsburghDryerVent.com or Facebook and Instagram at DVWPGH. As Mark said, a lot of nasty pictures on there of people's clogged dryer vents, roof vents, things we find in dryer vents. All that good stuff. But those are actual customer photos from jobs we've done. So good examples of what we really do.
Thanks so much, Kim. We always appreciate you. And Ben, no one knows gunk better than you. So KBPlumbingPGH.com, and your social media is at KB Plumbing.
Is it?
It is.
All right. That's where you'll find us. If you need me, you got to call me. You got to call me. 412-449-9970. That's the best way to get a hold of me. Maybe we'll see you. We'll see you when you're in trouble. Hopefully we see you when you don't, but
That's right. That's right.
Right. Preventative maintenance. That's right.
We'll probably see you when you're in trouble.
Right. Tim, Mark, Kim, Ben, can't thank you enough for kind of going off on a limb with this crazy little scheme. And we appreciate it. It's hard to believe it's almost been an hour. It's just under an hour here at this point. But for all of you that have watched or are now watching, because it's still living on Facebook or YouTube, feel free to give these guys a call or give us a message, and we will make sure you get their phone numbers if you missed it.
Yeah, we're happy to connect you, because these are great people. Support local. And, again, the best part is we can give testimonials for most of these guys and talk about the great work that they've done. So if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out or go to them directly. Thank you guys so much for being Jags.
Yeah, thank you.
Say goodbye, but we're all going to hang out in the green room with donuts.
Oh, Jenny.
Oh, nice.